Hi, I'm going to talk to you guys about CaesarPleaser, which is a card game that works on our Latin roots. Latin words are made up of pieces, and those pieces each have meaning, which makes it super handy for multisyllabic words, so you don't have to memorize them. If you know what each one of the pieces means, you can move it around and figure out thousands of different words just by knowing different word parts. Now, the cool thing about this game is that you don't have to have taught everything in the deck to be able to play it. They do need to be able to read multisyllabic words, and they do need to be able to have, a good command of our language. But because they tend to be the more difficult words. But the thing about it is that because the root or the prefix or the suffix is on the card with what it means, then the kids have an opportunity to learn what they mean and to put them together and recognize words that they've seen before or heard before. So I'm going to show you how to play it. So the way that I play is I'll take, because I find it to be the easiest way, the suffixes are red, the root words are black, and the prefixes are green. So I just put them out into, on the table. I'll put out 16 or so. There's more than one, so there's another port, which means to carry. So sometimes kids don't know that port means to carry, but when they start thinking about it, they're like, oh, yeah, like a porter carries your bags, or a reporter will carry information back to you. They report, they carry again. If you have, even 2 kids or 4 or 5 kids, they'll stand around, and when it's their turn, what they're going to do is pick a word. So let's say they see impulsive, okay? So they have impulsive, and they would pick this, and they would see, that M means not, that this pulls, P-U-L or P-E-L, is to drive or push. Like, so if I had propel, that would be to push forward. And then IV, which is going to be lending toward an action, right? So I would take this, and then that person has a word. If nobody has any, objections to it, then they have 3 cards. So then I would have these in my hand. I just go back in and I replace where the empty spaces are with a couple more cards so that the next person can have a chance, okay? And so what happens though is that the other person that's playing, or people, they're looking the whole time, and what they're doing is they're going descriptable, prescription, description, so they're thinking, I'm going to have what word they're going to use while they're looking at this, and looking at all the different options, because they'll be like, add port, no, ab, com port, com, and they're looking at all the different possibilities for words that they could put together, because you can tell as soon as somebody takes a word that they wanted, you'll hear they go, oh, that's the one I wanted. So like if they see distraction, right? Somebody else would be like, I was going to do that. But you can have, so then that person would have 3 cards, we'd replace it, and somebody might only be able to come up with a word that is two roots long, 2 units long, and then they would end up having less cards than somebody else. Or if somebody took a word that wasn't a real word, then they'd have to put their cards back, so they kind of lose that turn, and then they wouldn't have as many cards at the end. So basically the goal is to end up with as many cards as you possibly can at the end. I actually played this with a group of 7th and 8th graders, and some of the words they were making, they would use me as the referee, like, is this a real word? And I would say, oh no, that's not a real word, and they'd look it up, and it actually was. So you'd be surprised how many words you don't know when you get started doing this. So, but I think it's great for the kids to, if you have smartphone access or computer access, for them to have dictionary.com up, and they can check and make sure. I kind of do it like Scrabble. Like if everyone is playing and the kids are in agreement that it's really a word, then it'll pass. But if, somebody has a question, and challenges your word, then they can look it up. And that way they're learning about vocabulary as they go. It's a super fun game that kids have a really good time learning new words and challenging each other. So I hope you have a good time. Thank you.